Hello everyone and welcome into yet another live stream. Live stream day 574. There we go. Sweet. Yay. I'm not feeling great for some reason. Can't quite put my finger on it. There's just something in the air. And I thought, you know what? If I'm not feeling that great, might as well, why not? Let's stream. Okay, so today we'll be doing coding. That's the wrong thing. That's the stream. This is the right thing. There we go. That's what I get for misclicking. Anyhow, coding. Yay! Let's build it. Wait, why did it crash? Yeah, that seems like a very old history. Now, if we build it, if we run it, then we can do make it, and then we can not move it around. Why can we not move it around? Oh no? Do we remove the movement? We might have removed the movement. We absolutely have removed the movement. Sweet. Now, it's only 16 numbers. Not anymore. We already did the 16 number stuff last stream. Is the name of the stream off? Shouldn't be called 16 numbers anymore. Let me see. There we go. So here's the thing. Last stream we did the 16 numbers, which was just a 4-dimensional. That's enough way to put it. A 16 number matrix to transform everything right here, and we packaged it into these neat tiny functions, which we can use to flip stuff around, which we can use to move stuff around, which we can move to resize stuff around. And then that's really nice because it allows us to move numbers and whatnot. And the reason why we want this is because now we can freaking make a terminal, a little terminal. So, how are we gonna make a terminal? Hi, Gabriel. Hi. Oh, have you seen the satisfactory thing? The video? Oh, I'm so excited now for tier 9. Oh my goodness, there is the absolute overkill of a conveyor belt. Mwah. I think when Satisfactory releases, I might just buy a server. Like an online hosting server and... Oh, Mark, are you also a Satisfactory enjoyer? Because what I was about to say is that I might just genuinely buy a server and we can just play on streams as a group of people. Hello, Satisfactory. Hell yeah! Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, so when Satisfactory releases, I think I genuinely might just buy a server. We can just do like a, you know, make it Satisfactory world where we play Satisfactory as a group. We'll just make sure to not include anyone who would like to ruin it all by, I don't know, deconstructing stuff and whatnot. It'll be minor screening process then and anyone can join in. When is it releasing again? It's 10th, correct? So that's like... Oh, my taskbar broke. Sweet. Great. Thank you, Windows. It's like my own version of thanks, Obama. Yeah, around 10-ish days? 10, 11, something like that. 11, yes. And then for the 11th live stream, well, it's so in 11 days. That's probably when we'll do it. These servers aren't too cheap, but they're not crazy expensive either. What was I doing? Oh yeah, right, terminal. Alright. Main C, and on main H, I would like to make a new struct. Let's copy this one, because might as well. It's almost 2 AM, I'll finish watching this and I'll go to sleep. I mean, I can go to sleep right now, this might be a long live stream. New video next Friday too, really? Really, I mean, the quantum stuff, I find it really interesting, because... I mean, it is a completely new mechanic, isn't it? Have until 6 AM. Okay, then that's fair, then then you might actually do it. Alright, let's call it terminal struct. And the way we'll do terminal struct is we'll just call it terminal. I mean, I'm really excited for this, mainly because, well, okay, we already know that the last stage will be basically like, you know, future technology stuff. And the trick, the catch, will be that you will first of all need the strange alien material and the Sam ore, and also, I don't think it's strange alien material, it's strange alien something. So first of all you need Sam ore, and second of all you'll obviously need the artifacts. Also automatically creating power shards. I'm surprisingly excited for that. The main reason why I didn't use power shards before is because they are like exclusive, but if not the last stage there you can just create them, then that's great. Alright, let's delete those. Hi, the Carmine, hi! 4.37 minutes, alright. Oh, why don't you do it? Now, terminal. For the terminal, what we'll need is we'll need 2 text tracks, I suppose. So like text line and text log. Along with... how professional do we want to make this? That's a good question. How professional do I want to make this? Because I could just set it up as like a... oh damn it, that's tricky. Alright, so right here we have selected text object, which will be different from that one because we will need the selected text object not like this, only as a struct, new struct called selection, selected object struct, which will just be called selected object, and it will have 2 things, which will be first of all long int, which will be index, and second of all type. This doesn't have to be a long one, but we might as well make it a long one. And then we do this, and we have to replace everything. So I'm pretty certain it's defined in it. So right here we do extend right selected. Never mind, is it the main? No. Where am I even defining it then? Dot index is 0 and then dot type. I'm sorry, where am I defining it? Do you have like a search where I can... input C. Am I defining it in input C? That's not a great... well, maybe not the best place to define... oh yeah. You know what? No. No, we're just gonna do it right here, and we're gonna do it as a selected object. That's ridiculous. There we go. Now we can take this. Let's keep talking about satisfactory. I much rather talk about satisfactory than code, honestly. Code is just right here in the background to fill in the void. 17, damn it. We need dot index. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay. So annoying. So annoying. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, so instead of index, right? Well, yeah, we will need an index, but... oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh gal, oh guy, oh everyone. I really done goofed up. I haven't really, it's just that I need to think of a clever way to implement this. Basically need like a... unsigned long int, or just long int, get info, get selected info, which will be a very much internal thing. Oh boy, okay. Define internal info size. Jeez, that's such an awful. Oh, this would be so annoying, so awful to implement. Basically, all of this. I've made such a big mess. Or maybe I haven't. Or maybe the active object. Oh, I'm a genius. Selected text object, that's what it's called. Which means what we can do is right here in the type, we can only do type and index. We can also do text pointer text. Oh, I'm so clever. And now we can go to main C. No input, yes. And then we can do as a pointer to this, which means dot text oh, I'm so clever. Oh, I'm so clever. Oh, I am so clever. Oh, I'm so clever. Now we just have to replace these. At least I hope I'm clever, because if I'm not, then oh boy, am I screwing things up in a major way. Am I clever, everyone? Do you all think I'm clever? I'm a little late. Yeah, I've noticed. I was actually worried. You all think I'm clever, because if I'm not, then this is going to be a bit tricky. No, I did fucking not just do that. Oh yeah, I did. I did. Oh, this line has to go. Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy, but this line has to go. Okay, what do we need from this line, by the way? I already forgot. Oh, the character change, which means we want text, and from that text we want text, and then we want we basically want this, don't we? Pretty certain. Yeah, and then in the main we want to set the type. We don't care about none of them. All we care about is that this is equal to the address of mkt text object dot zero of text. Well, I guess then we can just do that's a lot of errors. Okay, input. Oh my goodness, a lot of errors. Your cleverness is very satisfactory. I see. I have no idea what's happening. Well, Mark, that makes the three of us. Trying to understand it is hard. Imagine trying to code it. You think I've got a clue about what's going on? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Selected text objects. Okay, so right here. Listen, here's the thing. Once I fix all of these errors, we're gonna run it and it will either work or I will have a really bad time trying to fix it. Do you understand? This either works right away or it won't be fun for me. It will, in fact. Okay, that's already great. So we want to delete this function, of course. That was a garbage function with an awful idea, which no longer needed. Now we know, let's clear this. Build. Okay, 61, input C. What's happening there? Ah, I see. Yeah, size of text. Yeah. This is you want the address. That's what you want, right? I'm assuming. Ah, sweet. Main C. Line 27. Index. Yeah, I meant index, not in-text, of course. Okay, only one more. That's warning, but still should probably take care of it. Right here, text struct is to type. Makes sense. Should be text. Okay, now this will either run or it won't. But if it won't, I am not going to have a good time. Let's try to enter aerospace engineering at the uni or just get an easy engineering career. Listen, if you want aerospace engineering, go for aerospace engineering. Don't let like the difficulty of it stop you. Just gaslight yourself into thinking it's easier than it actually is. That's what I do. That's like how I got into quantum mechanics, relativity, electricity, chemistry, everything. I just use denial. Okay. Please walk. Haha. Okay, I'm quite clever then. That's good. And it even mwah, compliments the chef. I'm the chef. Compliment me now. Okay, that's great because it means that right now, you know, I should just push this. Git commit all of it with a message. Text objects. Yeah, and git push. Sweet. Okay. Oh, it worked. Whoa. That was... Alright. You know what? It worked out. That's all that matters. Now that it worked, what we can do is we can... Good question. Yeah, right, terminal. That's what we want to do. So here's the thing. For terminal, we could try to make it pretty, like this. We probably won't. Let's be honest. We probably won't. For each letter, we could actually have a pixel color value. I mean, not a pixel color, only just like a color value. So that then we can do something fancy with the colors. But for now, all we want is a black rectangle. Maybe like a white rectangle and inside of it black rectangle. Maybe? We'll think about this. The point is, what we want is just a, for now, black rectangle. And inside of it, I think. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We have main C, which we should really clean up, by the way. This is a mess. This is a huge mess. This is an awful mess. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a render C, and we're going to do a render H. And we're going to move all of this into its own function. So right here, we'll have a function, which will be a void. It will be called mkt render text object. And then we'll just return at the very end. And now we are missing all sorts of things, but not to worry, we just need to include main H, and these should all just appear out of nowhere. Sweet. Now we want to define the same function in the header file, like this. Right here we might as well include render H, and then what we want to do is, considering how all of these are global, all we basically want is just an unsigned int I. Basically all we need. And then right here we just need to plug it in. And then in main C we just want to include render. And then what we want is we want to take this. And then what we want is we want to go right here. And we want to just include. And we just want to do this. And we just want to do this. And we just want to do this. And then if we add in render to the build, if we build it, it didn't break, which is impressive. If we run it, we still render text. Isn't that great? It is. I am amazing. I know. No need to mention. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. You can hold the applause now. You can still, I get, I know, I'm amazing. But now that I have render text object, what we can also do is we can render terminal. Now, why is render terminal important? Render terminal is important because, well, this one will just get a terminal, and rendering a terminal will be a bit more tricky. We not only want to render text, we also want to render a rectangle underneath the text. That's kind of it, actually. Yeah, just text in the rectangle. Now I think about this. So yeah, these are the two things we want to render. Difficult stuff. So right here we want... Yeah, because right here we're getting the specific text object to render. Makes sense. Okay. The same thing should happen right here, correct? There will be some annoying logic to it, though. Because what you have to realize that rendering a terminal is not as quick and slick as it may seem. First of all, you basically don't want to render anything above a certain line, even if it cuts the text. Like, as you can see, if I open up a terminal, if we're doing a classic terminal, of course, if I just do something like list, and then list, and list, you can see that if we, like, half scroll... Oh, never mind, there's full lines. Never noticed that. Well, then I guess no one will mind. Considering how I'll be the only user, then I guess no one will mind. So what we want to do is we want to, like, figure out the size of the terminal, or get the size of the terminal. Okay, so the terminal will need a couple more things. First of all, in main sage, right here, terminal struct, you will also need unsigned, or just unsigned int, size x, and size y. Then what you also need is position x and position y. And these are kind of the only two things that matter. The only two things that matter. I like how for text we do have color, but what we should really have is like a array of color, because we need different color for each character. So what we should actually have is we should have like a right here struct called RGBA struct, and then just call it RGBA, and then this will be, you won't believe it, but it will be just a color. The reason why we want it as a struct is because then we can have an array of structs. So right here we can just have RGBA color, which will be a pointer, and then for each letter that we add. Oh, this is going to be so annoying. Oh, fuck sticks. This will be so annoying. Hi, the sunshine. Can't see anything you're typing because I'm watching on phone. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's relevant anyway. In the init, whenever we create a new text struct, create text, precisely, what we want is that we not only want to reallocate this text object itself, or rather right here, we only want to text, we also want to do color. Be malloc 100 times size of RGBA. Yeah. And then inside of the render, when we render text, we don't really want to First of all, we can cut this, which we're not using at the moment. When you run the text, we don't really want to add in color, we want to add in the color of a specific letter. The color of... And right now it will lead to all sorts of funky effects. I'm sorry. Okay, how about we just type def a float of 4 as... Can I just type the float of 4? No. Does it need to be a pointer? Needs to be a pointer. I'll be pretty upset. Can I just cast it as a... I know basic Python. It's a long story. Can I cast it as a float pointer? Apparently not. Okay, what do you want? What do you want from me? GL uniform 4V. What type do you want from me? GL uniform 4V, was it? Or F or V, as no one cares. GL uniform. What do you want from me? GL uniform 4F. Oh, you want just the 4 of the floats. 4FV. Oh, because it's a vector, right? 4FV. You want just a float of the pointer to the value. It's what I have, isn't it? Kind of. Almost. Oh wait, am I an idiot? Don't I just need to do like dot color? Oh my goodness, I am an idiot. And then in it, at the very bottom, right here, we also set the color, but we want to do color.color, because we're just... And then I. And right now, if we build, it will just be random colors everywhere. Yeah, as you can see, they are random. Most of the time there is no alpha, which I mean tracks. So when we add in a new letter, we not only want to set that letter, we also want to set its color, which means character change. And then right here at the very top already... Okay. Just comment this out. Like this is dot text. So select the object, text. So we don't want text, we want color. Am I getting that right? This is a text pointer, so we get text to which we want color, yes, and we want the appropriate character for that color, and then from that character we want to get I'm not struggling, I'm fine, I can figure this out. How hard could it possibly be? We want to take this basically, except we don't want it, if once we get, want color. Right? No, text, yes, and then from it we want to get color. And then from that color, we want to select this, which is the new character. Then we want to do dot color. And we want to set the 0 of 1 to 1. And do the same thing for all of them, suckers. And now, if we build the thing, if we run the thing, it works. And we can do a really cool, sick, great idea stuff. Hold on, really struggling for the sentence. I'm thinking really hard. The point is, right now, for each letter, we have a different color assigned, which means you can change those colors depending on the letter. Oh boy, why am I saying him in such a weird way? We'll have to rewrite all of this, because it's just so bad. So bad. Will I? Maybe not. What I check for a word in a string, you know? I have an idea. Let's do color. Right? Is it the color? I'm RGBA. RGBA. Okay. Internal check word color, and then to it we give it a char pointer text along with size unsigned int, which is, I'm glad you're still here, Mark. Size of text, and then listen, if anyone wants to strike up a conversation, I'm available whenever. I just let me know. I really don't like talking about code because it's really boring, but right now no one is starting conversations in the chat, and the only thing for me to do to fill in the space is just code. Hi there, Shabina. How old are you? Well, that's an awkward way to start a conversation, because that's on the channel like a famously known question which I always ignore. You've picked an odd question. Sorry, can't answer that. I'm legally not allowed to answer that. Sorry. No, it's fine. It's just that so many people were always asking me how old I am that I thought it would be more funny if I just didn't answer. For some reason, this is like the most often asked question I ever get. How old am I? Which, I mean, I get it. The range of possible ages ranges from 14 to 40. Because on one hand, I sound like a 13-year-old. On the other hand, you know, I'm clearly an adult. On the third hand, my lifestyle wouldn't suggest that I'm below 25. Make it, how old are you? I don't know, mate. I will have to check with the upstairs make it, you know, the up high make it, the big suit make it. Ask them permission. You know, I'll check with the management if I'm clear. If I am, then I'll have to check with HR to make sure I'm not. Won't cause me problems. Then marketing will also have a say, certainly. Legal, I have to check in with legal, obviously. How old do you think your audience is? Video or stream? Also depends on the kind of video. The oldest, or at least most mature audience, I get from the practical videos and from the AI videos. Although it may be mostly because like those are the kind of people that would stay, and only the people who would stay would check those videos. That's a possibility. From math videos, like, you know, the having fun math videos, I would say the average age is around 16, maybe 19. And on streams, it varies a lot. There are certain streams where we have really mature conversations, and then there are other streams when 3 separate people talk in brain language because they think it's funny, which I would say is lower, much lower. He is reductive by making Mandarin years old. I learned the hard way. Yeah, that's true. If you think Obama's middle name was a guarded secret, wait till you hear about my age. I would say today we're gravitating towards 15, 16. That would probably be the average. Is this dubstep making it? Hell yeah. What am I trying to achieve here? Oh yeah, we want to take the text. So check if text. I should do it as a single line, I think. If text I. First of all, we want to check if the current thing, which means if size of tick -1, that will be the thing. If this is equal to... What's the code for spacebar, if I may be so bold to ask? What is it? -1, I see, that makes sense, that tracks. -1. Or we can do it in a much better way, where we just add 1, and then we set as a negative, because I'm just that kind of clever son of a gun. Return color, and obviously right here we'd like to set color to... Hi the ninja! When coding, yeah, coding, maybe some walk later on, we'll see. So then what we check is we set actually the size of text -1. And then right here, if it's greater than 0, and then we just subtract from it. And then what we check is we check if this is equal to -1. Or rather, we can do it with this fancy checker. Because if it is, that means it's a spacebar. Or, alternatively, we can check... Oh boy. Isn't a funky beat, right? If it's a spacebar, or we also want to check if it's enter. What's the enter key? 100. Makes sense. Once again, I completely arbitrary and I said it myself. Or if you are equal to 100. If either one of them is correct, that means we end there. Which means int breaker. That shouldn't be equal, should be equal to 0. And then we set breaker to whatever I is in this case. But then what if this goes through a full loop? Oh yeah, that's simple. If We know, then we want it to be equal to 0, actually, this is fine. Which means right now what we can do is we can just do it like this. This is now some clean, simple logic, actually, so that's really nice. I'm just compressing it for the funsies, honestly, if I'm completely honest. I'm just compressing it because I'm just that kind of little cheeser. Okay. Right here, what we basically did is we selected the last ward, which means that... Oh, which means we don't want this, we just want it to break. And breaker. Haha. And then we'll have a breaker which selects the last ward. Then what we want to do is we want to check if it matches a long list of wards, which we will just have defined as wards to highlight .h. And right here what we'll do is we'll do a constant char pointer, which is a pointer to a constant char pointer. Or rather, what it should be, it should be a... Can I do like a pointer to a constant char pointer? Or like an array of constant char pointers? Constant char pointer, which will be wards to highlight, of which right now we'll only have one, which will be defined as make it. And right here we'll have... Actually, you know what? Let them edit it. We can edit this if we want. And right here we'll have... Oh boy, include... Hi there, Ali! Hi Maker, what you walking today? I'm actually walking, funny you should ask, I'm still working on the graphical, I don't know, honestly. I'm just coding, once I get bored of coding, then we'll just do some work, play some video game, I don't know. I just couldn't sleep, haven't been feeling great, so I decided to start a live stream. I thought if I'm not gonna relax, might as well walk. I haven't been here for the coding streams. They are. They are not coding. Most of the time they're not coding. It's just us chatting about AGI, about climate change, about future, about satisfactory and so on and so forth. What is a charity for? I'm so glad you asked, Zizzy, because it's not really a charity, it's more like a charity gathering thing, where we gather money for charities, like for example, to help people, to research cancer, to help people with different mental disorders and so on and so forth. So we can just depression, bipolar disorder, alliance, so forth, so on and so forth. I can just show you. Allow me. You are even cooler than I thought. I know, I get it all the time. I just... You know how difficult it actually is to just be this cool all the time? It's not my fault, I was born this way. Alright, anyway. You have the donate option, and then you have all the different foundations, which you can, even Wikimedia, which some people for some reason don't like the fact that I'm collecting for Wikimedia, but we are collecting for Wikimedia. And humble, yeah. Also humble, that's another thing. And handsome, and really sexy, but that's a whole separate issue. Did you teach yourself to code? Yes, I did. Actually, I wouldn't say I taught myself, I have this certain way of learning, which I always mention, which is I basically disrespect the science. So I like gaslight myself into thinking that the science is less difficult than it seems. And I'm like, oh, it can't be that difficult, and then I just study it, and then like, oh, it really isn't all that difficult. The main reason for why quantum mechanics has a reputation for being difficult is just because We just all accepted that as if it's a fact. Quantum mechanics are not difficult. Oh yeah, right. When it comes to colors, the colors for the water make it will be blue, which is RGB alpha. I'm hoping this works. And now, oh, words to highlight. Color. There we go. It's not that hard. Yeah, I mean, I just guessed it works. I have 100% success rate. What are you coding for? Just a little client for all the robots I'll make in the future. I just want to get back to coding. I like it. It's my, well, I wouldn't say exactly my happy place, but like, it's a great way to relax. It's just rocket science. I mean, what you will find is that if you actually have this sort of approach, it will make it, pun intended, much easier for you to get into any topic. Just pretend like it's not difficult. That's my genuine advice. Because most of the time, you will find that, I wish I knew how to code. I can teach you, it's not a difficult thing, trust me. I know that I make it look more difficult than it actually is, but that's mostly because... Oh, I code more like for fun, and because of that... I really often have fun with the way I code. How did you learn? I just coded stuff. There is no need to learn... Okay. What would be a good analogy? Imagine learning how to code like learning how to play chess. That's actually a great one. Learning how to code is kind of like learning how to play chess. So like, the basic rules are really simple. But, you know, actually having the ability to play chess isn't really about knowing the basic rules, it's about having... It's more like having the skill to play chess. And the best way to have skill to play chess is just to play chess. You can every now and then watch some tutorials, you know, to learn some theory, but you don't have to, you can just play chess. Now, I do understand that the basics may be a bit annoying for the first time, that is true, but the upside is you mostly only need to learn it once, and then it becomes really smooth. So, if you want, I can teach you, let's go stream out of it. It's kind of like the one thing I'm good at. I did something like that, I learned a little bit of quantum physics, and then I taught it to my class. That's really cool. I've been trying for months, but I can't remember every expression. You don't need to remember every expression. What's really funny, okay, this is something I love to show people. Every keyword in C language. So C, that's the language I'm coding in right now. List of all keywords in C language. These are all of the keywords. All of them. And I mean, all of them. That's it. That's every single word, and most of them you don't even use. I haven't used this one, probably ever. I haven't used this one in this program. I haven't used this one this program. I haven't used this one practically ever. I haven't used this one this program. I haven't used this one this program. I haven't used this one this program. I haven't used this one practically ever. I haven't used this one practically ever. This one I have used, but as a joke and ironically. This one also used as a joke and ironically. This one practically ever. No, I think I need one or two. This one practically ever. This one, I just want to test what it does. Like, only 28. Yeah, it's really not a lot. What you will find is that every single... Look at this. Char. That's... are they alphabetic? Yeah. Char. Unsigned long int. Unsigned... Where is it? Unsigned long... Yeah, so on and so forth. Every single one of these things here is either on this list or I made up myself. Love it, but I don't have a lot of free time to work in school. That is fair. Still, if you'd like to learn... Well, okay, C is a bit extreme. Not really, because C is really simple, but in order to do anything useful with C, that takes a shit ton of time. It took me around 10 hours to just have text. That's it. Python is much easier to use. However, it is more complex. It's not more difficult. It's much easier. but it's more complex. I think I'll start learn C before Python. I don't know, I would suggest doing both at the same time if you have the time. Both at the same time if you have the time. I'm practically like Shakespeare. Wow. Make it. You do realize synonyms exist, right? Apparently I don't. What was I trying to do? Oh yeah, right, I was trying to do this. I myself code, like C is my favorite, but C++ is pretty simple, so what's the difference? I use Python for utility and animations. Let me open VS, C# or C? I would recommend C over C# actually. The amount of cases in which C# is better than C, I can't think of a single one in which I mean, that's implementation based, which means you will have a couple of cases in which case C# is better than C, but that's only because something was made for C#. So C# is like... I've never bothered to learn it, I just never needed C#. C# might be good if you're trying to land a job as a programmer, because then there are certain places where they prefer C#. Oh yeah, what I was trying to do is right here we have the letter before the last... Okay, we have the letter where our word begins. +1 actually, letter of our word begins, and then we just want to... You know what, let's just for now print it. Print %C, end line, and text breaker. Let's do it, and we'll do in check word count right here, word color, sorry. And we'll do it for text, which is the specific character, and then we want probably the character. Yeah, but then market, but even this could try hellos. Whoa. Basically, how to solve an integral, stuff like that. That's fair. How do I set up C in VS? You mean VS Code? Well, when it comes to VS Code, you can set it up the way I have it actually. GCC, install GCC. You can just download GCC compiler like this, except on Windows. That's the compiler I use. How to install GCC on Windows, great. Oh, tutorial for... Oh, wait. Ooh, ew, yucky. Or maybe not yucky? Is it yucky? Can't tell. Maybe it's not? Is that really a way to install? Wait, do I have that? C. I mean, I have it differently for the colors for the thing. Is this really what I used to? Well, I guess then you just look up C in the extensions and you just install the thing, and then you just use the command the GCC, and there we go. I got an anti-Trump ad. Wait, what do you mean an anti... Those exist? I mean, I guess that would make sense. Wait, you can just advertise like against the person. That's the kind of ad that exists. I had no idea. Anti-Kamala ad all the time. Oh, that's so funny. Oh boy, you're really trying to get me into politics, aren't you? Get me to talk about the candidates and whatnot. Or maybe you're not, maybe I'm just itching to talk about that, but I shouldn't. Size of text, that's the one we want to input. We input size of text, we actually do it No, want to import character. Oh, damn it, this sucks so much. Character. Yes, well, it's not optimized in the slightest. But the point is, if we build it right now, then we get a whole bunch of errors. Like a bunch of errors. Why do we get a bunch of errors? Well, it's because right here we include this as a pointer. Huh. I think you're just edging. Ouch. I never edge, I goon. I would like that stricken from the record. Just... Alicia Slotkin. That's not a real name, no. That's the kind of name I feel free to Google on the main screen. Okay, I just needed to, just in case, you know. I feel bad for her. Oh, that's a terrible name. Michigan representative. Yeah, I mean, she was a President Barack Obama? Wow, good for her. What be her stance? What was she? Hell yeah. Is it like a political positions? Hell yeah. Is it like a TLDR? Conor voted for George Floyd. Yeah, I guess you were in favor. Do it again. Medicare for all. Opposes. Buy-in Medicare. Okay. She immediately corrected herself. Yeah, but that's just like, you know, like politics being a bitch. Politics ain't a cruel mistress. Politics is just a bitch. Opposing Medicare for all? I don't. Okay. But I'm looking for something you know, something controversial, something that's an actual stance, not like a. Pardon my bitter language, but like a limp dick bipartisan bullcrap. Something controversial, something that actually... She's not very controversial. Oh, that sucks then. That's already enough for me. Listen, I don't like politicians who are not controversial, because... What's the role of someone who's not controversial? They just vote for whatever laws are popular and vote against whatever laws are unpopular. Like, if they didn't exist in the slightest, then it wouldn't matter. Party before country and immediately country before party. Party before country. Country before party. Canadian politics are made... All politics are made in comparison to the United States. Lord, bless our troops. Can I get an amen? Oh. Sorry, the freedom just... It's beautiful. Alright, let's see. Foreign policy. Who voted against the amendment to prohibit... Oh, there are so many negatives in this case. Voted against an amendment to prohibit support and participation in the Saudi-led coalition military of Yemen. The main sponsor of the line. That's an awful way to end the sentence. I mean, like to break it into two on the next line. Slotkin was the main sponsor of the 2020 Iran war. Yeah, okay. Allowing Medicaid negotiations for lower drug prices for those... no, cringe. cringe. That's nice. 100% rating from human rights campaigns. God, yeah, that's pretty good. We have Justin who did blackface for openly post smoke. Okay, Ford was a menace. He was an awful mayor, absolutely awful mayor, alright? But it was a menace. Can you imagine a mayor of a town this big just openly saying he smoked crack? I respect his honesty. Stand up for what you believe. I mean, all the policies sucked, you know, just basically selling out the big city suburbs, that was garbage, but it can be two things, controversial or boring. I mean, okay, my favorite guy when it comes to American politics is obviously my man, the man, the myth, the legend, Bernie Sanders. And that's not even because of, like, sort of, no, it's just because Bernie Sanders actually fucking believes for something. I'm in something. I'm drunk. Well, I'm not. It's just 3 AM. State to state verse, yeah. Bernie means something. I mean, Bernie is a menace. I love Bernie. Bernie is great. I'm not even American. It's like trying. The fact that he, like, getting constantly shoved it back. It's, come on. Bernie is great. I love Bernie. See weed shops everywhere. There are too many. There is no such thing as too many weed shops, Zizzy. Someone with a name like Zizzy, which sounds awfully close to Zaza, should know better. I love Bernie. Who doesn't? Don't ever say you lose your edging streak. No, Mark, didn't you mention that you're 16? Don't ever say that again. Federal law trumps state law, but people just complain to the federal government said, fine, have your weed. I mean, federal law very much should, like, trump the state law. It's just that federal law shouldn't be this specific. It should only be reserved for the important bits, and climate change and whatnot. Completely Actually, wait, that's a good question. When it goes to this house, no, wait, that's democratic. I don't care. I don't care about those cringe laws. Senate Democrats, Senate in general. There we go. How are we looking? There's like a... Ooh, there is. Ooh. Absolutely. Mark, wait. so Damn it, y'all got me in talking about politics again. We personally, but there's a dispensary in like every 5 miles. The only people who are not into weed are those who just can't smoke it because they're busy. And I refuse to change my mind about the fact. I believe if everyone just had more time, everyone would be into weed. That's just my opinion. 50 feet away from me. Hey, convenient. It gives me really bad anxiety and inflammates my joints. Okay, yeah, tell me you're a med student without telling me you're a med student. Most people would just say it makes me feel bad. But I don't know, actually, would you believe me? Well, you would probably. But I've never tried weed. I've just heard things, stories. I've just heard stories. Cover? What do you mean cover? I never smoke weed. I'm assuming it's legal in Poland? Actually, well, define illegal. Like, just having weed is legal, but you can get a prescription like this. It's really easy. You can just get a prescription for weed. That's legal. Yeah, so it's like illegal unless you're willing to spend like an hour to get a prescription. And in this case, I don't mean to forge a prescription because that's all still illegal, obviously. I mean, like, just go to a psychiatrist, I think, and say that you're feeling stressed or whatever. I don't remember what exactly you mean. It's illegal recreationally. Yeah. Yes. That's a more eloquent way to put it. Yeah. As I'm pretty certain, I don't know, I'm having following on Polish politics. Weed. Marijuana. Taksak, no. I'm looking for legality. Cannabis. Just cannabis legality. Recreational use. Would you happen to have it like with other countries or just? No, I can get behind. Proportional presentation. The investment. Hi, the happy by the way. So sorry if you want to say hi. But yeah, I'm not too much into doing anything fun, honestly. I'm awful at parties. No wonder I don't get invited. Yum. Yummers. Oh yeah, another thing. Fentanyl. Ali, as a medical person among us, what's your opinion on fentanyl? For me, it is terrifying. You're so funny, smart, and like strong-willed. I know, I get it all the time. It's so annoying. Like no matter who I talk to, they're always like, "Oh my goodness, make it! You're so amazing." And I'm like, I know, it's not my fault. I can't help it. I just keep being awesome. It's very important medically. Recreation is terrifying, isn't it? It terrifies me to the core. Oh my goodness, fentanyl. Because fentanyl is what, 50 times stronger than meth? 150 times stronger than meth? It's terrifying. 100 times more potent than morphine. Yeah, that's a lot of times. Calling last week because we're doing baiting fentanyl. Hey, take a look at the title of the stream again. Coding, walking, who cares? Stream's the stream. We do be streaming, we don't care the topic. A pin drop to kill someone. That's what terrifies me. It's awful. If I ever catch any of y'all, or anyone I know doing fentanyl, we're gonna have a very unpleasant conversation. I've had fentanyl. Funny story about... Ali, what did I just say? I do math at 2 AM. I only do streams at 2 AM. I prefer the American crowd. In this case, I mean American, as in not just United States, just American in general. 9 PM here. I know, that's why I streamed this. Like, my drug is satisfactory. You know what? That's a fine drug. It was when I had cancer, so it was for medical reasons. Okay, you know what? The cancer argument, that's fair. Man, all these cancer patients, they hoard all the good stuff. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Zizzy. I didn't mean it. Ali, do I get a pass? Because you have a pass, obviously. But like Ali, you had 2 cancers. You obviously get a pass for joking about cancer since you've had 2 cancers. Can I get like can I borrow like one? Like 1 pass for joking about cancer? Because joking like that, I really do want to joke like this to, you know, as an icebreaker to not make these live streams too tense. But when I joke about cancer, I just look like a dick because that is a bit of a dick behavior. Yeah, you get a pass. Thank you. All right. Ah, thank you. Good. I'll take the thyroid cancer pass. You know, it's the less major one. Get unlimited pass. Hell yeah! That's a tip for you, kids. Always remember, donate money to charity to then justify joking about the things these charities try to solve. That's why I spend so much money on charities. No, the concept of like, I don't know, I think. And it's funny, then it's okay. Okay, so I mean, yeah, I suppose that's fast for most things. Like, you have to just be funny. Make people more open-minded to ideas, so open your mind to cancer. I mean, it's never that simple, Happy, unfortunately. Like, on one hand, you know, jokes open up people to ideas, and jokes help to... Well, jokes help with a lot of things, especially when it comes to dark topics, but you don't want to go too far. Remember, consent is hot. There's nothing hot in consent. Ah, boy. Anyway, Ben is an absolute... Wait, isn't there like... another thing? They give me fentanyl patches and I have tenants come and take it off me because... Detroit water system. Oh, I remember that story. You've told it before, actually. I think when I was playing on stream, when I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I was playing a survivor. I remember that much. Cancer is so fucking cancer. Ward. Yeah. Into water supply. I mean, you know, you already had meth gators, right? So might as well fentanyl gators. Why not? Yeah, when it comes to, I mean, we can just read what fentanyl does, I suppose. Like medical uses. It's mostly opioid, of course. What are opioids? What would be an opioid? Because that could help us derive, mimic natural substances from opium. It comes. It makes sense. It comes from opium. Just pain relief. $15 control from my head. Oh, I think it's way less than 15 milligrams. I'm pretty certain 15 milligrams. That sounds like an amount that could kill you. Is there like a 15 milligrams? It's a lot of fentanyl. It's like a lethal though. Oh, 2 milligrams is lethal. LD50 fentanyl. Oh, right here we have like a lethal dose for most people. Thank goodness, Wikipedia. Why do people take them if they make you numb? It doesn't make sense. No, you don't really... Okay, well, I don't mean to be that guy. Alright. So, I'm not justifying fentanyl. I don't like fentanyl or any of these extreme things, but... like... pain-reducing medication, when you take pain-reducing medication or pain-reducing drugs, when you're not in pain, that still leads to you, like, most of the time feeling better than you think you would. That's because it isn't really like pain-reducing. It's more like, how should I put it? I'm trying to find a word to explain it. Zizzy, what the fuck? Basically, it's not that you just don't feel anything, it's more like you don't feel pains which you're used to. So if you're used to an extremely minor pain and it disappears, then all of a sudden you're feeling better because you're used to feeling average, and average is surprisingly still in minor pains. But yeah, it sucks. I don't like fentanyl. It's pretty bad. Learning so much about drugs right now. I once did an entire live stream dedicated to amphetamine. True story. Because amphetamine is great. As much as I hate fentanyl and hate meth, I love amphetamine. Oh my goodness. Amphetamine is phenomenal. It's a superpower molecule. I love it. It's like, look at the effects, uses. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, obviously, narcolepsy, obesity, depression, chronic pain, okay, that's different. Basically, you can cure anything with amphetamine. Like bugger on pain, as soon as I realize I'm in pain, I feel like Superman. Yeah, precisely. We had a drug project, it was just a bunch of... What do you mean a drug project? A bunch of young kids saying like, oh, I'll do meth, and then that was funny. What is a drug project? You can need drug addiction with this one. I mean, obviously addiction is bad, and in general. That's like, I feel like blanket statement you can throw out there. Addiction is bad in general, it doesn't really matter what you're addicted to. If you are addicted, that's pretty bad. Addiction to substances is even worse, because most of the time, it's not only psychological, but it's chemical, which is much, much worse. So addiction in general is awful. But if you don't have an addiction, then amphetamine is mwah. I love amphetamine, best drug. Precisely, it is! It's a superpower molecule! I fucking love amphetamine. And I'm going on the record here. I love amphetamine, you can quote me on this. Not meth, I hate meth. Meth is awful. Meth is basically like amphetamine with rat poison. What if you can control your addiction a bit? I mean, if you can... Okay, define a bit first of all, because that's... There is also something called denial, which happens... those addictions, so you know, define a bit. I can stop whenever I want. Drug addiction ain't that. I mean, happy, you're not wrong. Guys, I can stop, I swear, precisely. Okay, happy, you're not wrong. Should I put like Subway Surfers in the background or something? So you know, you wouldn't have to stare at a Wikipedia page for amphetamine. Cookie clicker. Ali, you're a genius. The music is already salty. Physical addiction is the mental addiction is my hot take. Really? I mean, I would say it more depends on the person. Because... I don't know, I've been addicted to caffeine, but it was a very minor addiction. It was more... I would say like from a psychological point of view, because in this case, mental is way harder to beat. Okay, I had a very minor addiction to caffeine. Right? The mental aspect was that I felt like shit. The physical aspect was the fact that I got an extreme headache. And the headache was worse than feeling like shit. Mental was so hard. I would argue it depends on the person. Green stream on the web browser. What is anti-modded? Ooh, it's hosted on GitHub. Oh, it's like Cookie Clicker. Oh, that's so confusing. Oh, whoa, that layout. Ads, I don't know. Worst addictions to porn? No, not even close. It really isn't. Most physical withdrawals last 2 weeks tops, so mental is not wanting to stop. Yeah, but the physicals can be hell. You can die from physical addiction. I feel like that's way more. Well, I guess you could also die from mental. But that's something of a. That just sounds like something a snowflake would say, you know. I don't mean to say that mental isn't grave. I just mean to say that physical is. Sounds way more awful. To me. But yeah, worst addiction is porn. I would really disagree with that. My addiction passed like fast fashion. I still want to get addicted, but I just bored of the addiction. Then that doesn't sound like an addiction. I sometimes want to get addicted, but I just get bored of addiction. That really doesn't sound like an addiction. Can be hell once it's over. You don't continue to create the drug. Yeah, but like. That hell, even though it's temporary, it's still pretty severe. Can we also appreciate for a second that... I don't know, maybe it's too personal. I wanted to just upload Tefta, being sober for a long time. Impressive. How do people get addicted? God damn it. First of all, before I answer, don't try to get addicted to anything. That's kind of like trying to get cancer. It's not a good idea. You can try to get cancer if you really want it, but isn't it Munchausen's? Isn't that what was the name of the name of disease where you be sick? Oh, I am good at this. Wow, I'm good at this. Munchausen. Yeah, so Happy, if you want to develop an addiction, that basically sounds like Munchausen to me. Which is, you know, a disorder. I once got physically addicted to antidepressants. My body went through hell for 2 weeks. Once withdrawals was over, I was fine. I haven't been able to beat my nicotine addiction because it's mental. That she goes like 4 years now. As I said, in my opinion, it still depends on the person. And that's why I don't do anything fun. Well, I have a longer list of reasons actually, but one of them is the fact that I don't want to get addicted. Another reason why I don't want to drink alcohol is because it's just really sad to drink by yourself. Like, that's one of the bigger reasons. But I guess mental addiction, basically, I think. It's not quite. Mental addiction is what people think addiction. So when you think of addiction, you most of the time think of mental addiction. But to me, it's really important that a lot of people realize that physical addiction is a part of it. Because there is this myth that addiction is just like a mindset or something. So there is this myth that addiction is like a mindset. Addiction actually is just a disease like any other. And that's something that I don't think enough people realize that. That's why like addiction to different drugs is treated as like, when someone's addicted to a drug, they usually treat it worse because they're an addict. You know, that's so bad. They're an addict, right? They did it in themselves. But addiction is sickness like any other. They should get help. They should get help from others. Like others should provide help for them. That's why I feel healthcare is so important. And war on drugs is so silly. But that's just my piece. This was an experiment, everyone. Get addicted to something and tell me if you want to quit. And if you do, how easy is it? And if you don't, how easy it? You want to... Okay, do you really want me to get addicted to prove a point? Because considering my track record, Ali, do you realize how irresponsible you're being right now? Don't. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Ali, do you realize how irresponsible you're being right now? You are basically... Listen, it's for science. You are basically asking me to develop an addiction to prove a point. Something I absolutely would do. Develop an addiction. No people are addicted to the porn, but think it's just normal. Yeah, but at the same time, how dangerous is porn addiction? Sounds like you aren't having it. You would actually do it. Yeah, that's the problem. Listen, my ego is extremely fragile. If someone tells me no balls, then I have to prove that I've got them balls. Whoa, that's really good. Who's the more irresponsible here, actually? The idiot who just developed an addiction to prove a point, or the med student that's telling them to develop an addiction to prove a point? Who's the more responsible? What if I get addicted and tell the results? And don't fucking get addicted! That's... Did you not hear what I just said? He's stubborn enough to beat an addiction. I mean, yeah, but I would still waste months. Because I would need to make sure that I'm actually addicted. And also, what would I get addicted? Okay, you know what? That's a good question. What would I, hypothetically, if I were, what would I get addicted to? Because I could do alcohol, but that would completely wreck my life. So, you know, I like proving a point, but science, you're a science shadow. Okay, that would be a pretty good video. However, first of all, I would set an extremely bad example for everyone. And that's... Well, that would make it kind of hard for me to sleep at night. Nicotine, it's relatively safe, it's tough to beat. Oh, fuck no, I don't want nicotine. I don't wanna ruin my lungs. And besides, my best friend smokes, and I've given them a lot of shit about that, so if I start smoking, I'll look like a hypocrite to them. You know, I'll have to explain that I'm doing it to prove a point, but they'll be like, yeah, right, you're just addicted, and I'll be like, no, I'm really doing it to prove a point, and then just the whole thing. You know, I'm only doing fucking meth. Not meth! We don't need the methyl in there, we can just remove the methyl, you know? But I would need to get a prescription, which is a bit of a hassle. I would need to basically fake ADHD. Well, actually, would I fake it? Do I? Maybe I have ADHD. Mental addiction is harder than physical addiction. My goodness gracious me. Get addicted to going to the gym. That's a good addiction. You can't really get addicted to that easily. Besides, going to the gym would only be a mental addiction. Gym today, I hate it. Yeah, I've never been to a gym. First of all, they're way too expensive, and second of all, I don't have the need to go to the gym. And I do believe that also outside of America, going to the gym, most people going to the gym are going to the gym because they are pressured by society who's telling them they have to go to the gym. That's outside of America, because America has car-centric cities, which means if you want to get some exercise, you practically have to go to the gym. It's 10 months, it's pretty cheap. Going to a forest is free! That's what I do! Whenever I need to think, I just go to a forest at night. Inject nicotine each time you enter a gym. Oh, finish a set. That sounds like a nicotine addiction. Get addicted cookie clicker. I've already been to. I get kidnapped but went to a random forest or murdered. Yeah, no. No. That's just simply not true. I would, like, think of it from logistical perspective. Imagine you're a murderer or a kidnapper, right? Where are you gonna go? Are you going to go to a random forest and just hope that someone shows up all of a sudden? No, you're gonna chill in, I don't know, remote, low-income neighborhoods where the police won't care enough to investigate. That's what you're gonna do. We have a higher chance of getting kidnapped in the city than the randomized forest. Precisely. I have seen so many more shady characters in a city than a forest. It's unbelievable. Well, actually at night the forests are empty and the cities are just full of drunk people, so... I guess. It simply is. There are a lot of drug addicts that live in the woods around here. Ali... Okay, maybe in America. You know what? Maybe that's why. Maybe in America that's the case. But in Europe, it's simply not. I would know. Listen, when you think of like psychopaths that go to the forest at night, you're thinking of like murder, drug addict types. Who you should actually be thinking of is me. Right? Like, I'm assuming the only two people you know who actually go out to the woods at night is me and Sailed. Called Nido Park is heavily wooded. There's no drugs that live in the woods. Yeah. So as I said, maybe in America that's the case. But in Europe, actually, I've never. Well, I maybe have, but it's pretty rare to see like an addict. For him in the street, and I feel safe. I mean, I feel safe wherever because I've just never been in a scenario where I wouldn't feel safe. Get addicted to talking to women. I can't. Talking to people is difficult enough. I know a lot of people go. It's called male privilege. Make it. Whoa, that's the card you're gonna pull. Oh yeah, Ali, yeah, you know what, that's a great argument. So what's your solution? Your solution is that more women should stay home at night? Fucking chauvinist prick. Oh, you just want women to stay home, huh? I want women to have the freedom, alright, and the ability, and for it to be socially acceptable to go out into the forest at night. Because I'm a feminist. My solution is to carry guns. That's a... Well, I mean, in America, I guess. In America, I guess. Zizzy, you have to remember, Ali's American, so... I guess. Just bring a pocket knife. I just walk around with an axe, like a small one. I want Owen to go out the first night. Okay, Mark, you kind of red flagging a bit at the moment. I'm not saying everyone got, yeah. People get guns for self-defense. What? Defense against other people who have guns. Yeah, guns don't kill people. Guns protect people against people with smaller guns. Just remove the guns. I mean, Zizi, unfortunately, it's not that simple either. I don't like when people just present this issue as a black and white thing, you know? You can't just remove guns, or you can't just remove gun control, right? Both of these solutions suck. You do realize the spectrum, right? We can just like have like a... It's not a binary thing. We need 0, 1. Women can't walk down the street without fearing of their life, and men can during the day. Ali, but okay, hold on, Ali. When you walk down the street at night, why are you scared? Because it is messed up, I agree. But like, why are you scared? If everyone has a gun, no one can use a gun. Simple and useful solution. I believe all guns should be confiscated and given to me. I believe I should have all the guns. I looked female. I will not comment on that. Someone might try to kidnap me. It happened during the day. Yeah, but like the core underlying, because you know, kidnapping, that's not like a default thing. So you're saying you're scared of the crime, basically. That's a normal thing. Why? Crime doesn't only affect women. Why should men... I'm not a strong guy. I've met, like, tons of women stronger than me. Why should I just be fine with walking alone the forest at night, and women not? No, but men see women, particularly small women, as easier targets. Okay. Ooh, that... Oh, alright. I would just like to say that... that sentence, there is a problem with it, you see. You said, no, but men see women, particularly small women, as easy targets. What you meant to say is, I think that men see women, particularly small women, as easier targets. You see, if you're gonna say something, but what you have to realize is that when you say men, I know you mean like men who do crime, I get it, but what you have to realize when you say men, you include me in that group. So, from that sentence, it would mean that that's a quote from actual men. Yeah! Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just really upset when it comes to this because, you know, just confiscate all the guns for himself, yeah, and give them to me. Alright, the reason why it upsets me so much whenever this sort of men-women thing is presented is that, Ali, what I want you to realize is that you're lumping all the men together into a single group and assuming something about them. Alright? Which I really don't like. Like, all of a sudden, just because someone was born with different genitals, you just assume them as a threat. I would say it's a pretty dick move. Pun intended. 50% of dudes was saw the woman in a situation where there wasn't a consequence. I don't just invent. Yep. But can't you see how messed up that is? Bro, which men are you around? Yeah, I mean, okay. It's not a thing. Can't you see how messed up that is? The only difference between men and women is the genitals. Well, a bit of an oversimplification, but basically. To save myself from 99 dangerous men, I'm fine with that. Okay, what about dangerous women, Ali? What about the women who would murder you? What about them? You don't care about them? Because they have different genitals? It upsets me so much! Treats them very different. Yeah, and that's precisely what upsets me. When I said I'm a feminist, I didn't mean it. I want equality. Because I find it bullshit that depending on the genitals you're born with, society would treat you different. Guys, make it so correct as always. That is a rule. I am always correct all the time. That's beside the point. Get women power because the majority of crimes happen by men. Okay, so you mean to tell me, Ali, that if you're walking alone at night, if a guy tries to kidnap you, then you'll be like, oh no, men are dangerous, I don't want you to kidnap me. But if a woman tries to kidnap you, you'll be like, yes girl, go queen, girl boss time, just hop in the van. What if a couple, a guy and a woman try to kidnap you? What then? If you want equality, tell men to stop committing so many crimes. Yeah, yes! But like, how about, instead of, you know, stopping men from committing crimes, how about we just fix crimes? How about we just fix the problem of crime in general? If she was successful, I'd say go off. I'm not saying that men and women should vote for equality, and because women don't have the equality. In what sick universe are we that, like, a guy is arguing for feminism and a woman is arguing against right now? I am... But if a woman touches me, I'd run. I got an ad. What? I was just saying, what universe are we in where, like, me, a social outcast guy who's an influencer and a programmer, is arguing for feminism and you are arguing against? What kind of bizarro universe is that? I think you're being ignorant. No, I think you're just misunderstanding the concept of sex equality. You're arguing against it? I mean, Ali is saying that she fears... What Ali is basically saying is that she doesn't really fear crime, she fears men committing crime. The entire time, the reason why... From what you've said... Yeah, precisely, but fixing crime and fixing men committing crime may seem like a similar thing, but it's really not, because it would lead to two completely different outcomes. In one outcome there will be less crime, in the other outcome it will be less crime and it will be less equality. Oh, with metal suits to be equal. Just great solution. Feminism is equal. Yeah, that's why I'm arguing for equal rights in this case. Or at least equal treatment. I don't know, committing crime in kidnapping is terrifying, no matter who does it, but statistically men commit more kidnappings. Yes. However, men commit more kidnappings, fine. However, don't you think, when you're saying men commit more kidnappings, don't you think that the actually problematic part, is the kidnappings? Because when it comes to me, personally, maybe I'm the weird one, I don't really care who's committing the kidnappings. It's kind of bad that they happen, you know? Listen, let me give you an analogy, okay? Because I feel like maybe this will help you understand why it bothers me so much. The entire time, you are basically talking about crime, how you're afraid of crime, and that makes sense, right? I don't think anyone wants to get kidnapped unless it's their kink, in which case, fair game to them. Walking down the street safely, a man can't. Ali. Okay, here's the thing. What you're basically saying, in this case, is you said that men commit what is kidnapping, right? Yeah, men do more kidnappings. All right. But you have to realize that this is the same kind of argument as saying black people commit more crimes. That's not a good way to reason. Because saying that it's a misaligned view of the problem. It's not the same. Why not? Why is it not the same, Ali? Come on, give me your best shot. Why is it not the same? Why is treating people differently based on the race? Why is treating people differently based on the race worse than treating people differently based on the sex? Why is one acceptable to you and the other one unacceptable? People treat others differently based on sex and race. Yeah, and that bothers me. That really does bother me because it's such a pointless point of conflict, in my opinion. Pun very much intended, once again. When the charges for crime were higher when being crimes committed. Mark, there are two ways to solve the crime problem, and in my opinion, punishment is not a good way to solve crime. Because with black men, they were systematically targeted by police many times when they didn't actually commit the crime. Okay, so what you're saying is that you don't like treating people differently when it comes to crime based on the race. Well, I'm assuming generally. Okay, so Ali, what you are saying is that you don't like treating people based on the race differently, even if statistics show that these are different, because of the systematic problems which cause these statistics to happen. So black people, it's not like black people are more violent, it's that the systematic oppression in America has led to black people being in a situation where they are poorer, and because of that, because poverty correlates more strongly with crime, that's why more black people commit crime. It's not really black people who commit crime, it's poor people who commit crime, really. That's what you're saying, right? So, it's not like you should be scared of black people, it's just that because of systematic oppression, black people are more likely to be poorer, and because of that, poor people commit more crime. I just want to clarify, that's what you're saying. Black person didn't commit a crime. Yeah, systematic oppression, I know. But is that what you're saying? Is that why we shouldn't treat black people any differently? Because if that is the reason why you're saying, then tell me, why should systematic problem apply in this case, but not apply to the fact that men and women are treated differently precisely because of a systematic societal problem? And it's different. But what I fail to see is why it's different. In both cases, you're just lumping a group of people together based on an arbitrary thing. In one case, because men actually commit no crimes. So the black people. Because they're... yeah. Don't commit more crime. Okay. Ali, do you want me right now? Okay. There we go. And like a nice graph. Alright. That's actually killing of women and men. That's not quite the opposite. So we're trying to figure out who's committing them. That's gender of victim. Okay, no, still quite the opposite. It is, however, interesting how more men also die. Ah. Men the victims. No, that's all victims. That's not what I'm looking for. Quite the opposite. A lot of racism that takes place where they are unjustly arrested. Yes. Yes, yeah, but what you fail to understand is that you have a problem with racism, but you don't have a problem with sexism. This is racism. This is sexism. Both of these are bad. Learning a lot, actually. Yeah, I'm just trying... I'm hoping you're learning to treat people equally, as in the point of my argument. The reason why men commit more crimes is sexism. It very much is. Kind of by definition, right? Like, if two sexes... If the statistics for two sexes are this different, How is it sexism when men are committing more crimes? Ali, do you know what sexism is? There's discrimination based on sex or gender. It's based on the sex. If race... Okay, right here you have racism, which leads to more crimes committed based on the race. Right here you have sexism, which leads to more crimes committed based on the sex. Correlation does not equal causation. You mean that in this case, correlation does not equal causation, in this case would mean that it's an accident that men commit more crimes, right? Might not have anything to do with them being men. Yeah, but then that would have to be a pretty big coincidence. I'm being said by saying that men since they commit crimes and women are not arrested for it. Okay. Let me break this down. Gender equality basically states that genders should be equal. Okay? When you have a large population, a really large population, what this basically means is that statistics for all genders, which does not include the defining characteristics of these genders, should be equal. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but medically, there is no biological reason for men to commit more crimes. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty certain there is no biological reason. There is no, like, gene that causes men to commit crimes. Which means it's not actually like a characteristic of the sex in this case. So if there is a difference between crimes committed by women and crimes committed by men, that means that these two sexes were treated differently, which means gender inequality. Testosterone makes men more aggressive physically than women. That makes them more aggressive. Does not make... well, not them. That makes us more aggressive. Doesn't make us criminals, though, does it? Just give me a bye, Happy. Bye, have a good one. Aggressive leads to aggressive actions. Ali! You... Listen. I'm not saying that all men are criminals. Ali! Your argument is just not a very good one from the very beginning. Mainly because you started... You're like starting... the thing that started all of this is that you treat men differently than women. Right, so you basically, when you see a guy, you assume that there's a higher chance of them being a criminal than if you see a woman. Which, I'm sorry, men's aggressiveness by supporting and nurturing it. Yes, but like, wouldn't a better solution be a society in which we don't amp up aggressiveness, instead of a society in which we don't amp up aggressiveness for men? It's not sexism to be aware of my survival rate. Ali! Okay, let me put this as bluntly as I can. If you're walking down the street, if you see a white guy and a black guy, and you assume that there's a higher chance of the black guy being a criminal, that's called racism. If you walk down the street and you see a woman and a guy, and you assume that there's a higher chance of the guy being a criminal, that's sexism. It's the exact same thing. Except in one case it's sex, in the other it's race. Two men have tried to kidnap me. No women tried to kidnap me. Alright, if you heard someone... Ali, what I want you to do is before you say any sort of argument, I want you to think how would you react if someone said the same thing, except instead of the word men, they would say black men. So try replacing it from sex mattering to race mattering. I really want you to explain to me why are you treating... Because that is what it is. You're treating people differently based on the sex. Or even more, you're discriminating based on the sex. You assume some of them to be criminals. Some of us to be criminals. I'm a guy. Which is kind of textbook definition of sexism. Race has nothing to do with it. Sex does. Why does sex have something to do with it? I'm certain there's some sort of fancy MIT study. Criminal behavior in men and women. Let's see. Science Direct. Was violent criminal behavior, positive income generating crime at low cortisol, has are not moderated by sex. So testosterone have positive association with impulsive and violent criminal behavior. Okay, fair. Testosterone has positive association with income generating crime at low cortisol. Makes sense. Association between hormones and criminal behavior are not moderated by sex. Black people don't commit no crimes. Okay, Ali, the two sources you use for why men commit more crimes is statistics and personal, like, you know, and what was it called? Personal evidence, basically, right? Things that happen to you, personal stories. Those are the two sources. However, if you use the same two, if you had a guy who used the same two sources for race, you would consider that to be racist. So if I just, you know, went up to someone and showed you this graph and be like, yeah, see, drug-related arrests are higher for black men, which was just high crime, and then told you a story about when, you know, some black guy tried to murder me or something, then I would have the same basis for an argument. You're so wrong. Why am I so wrong, though? Do you use DuckDuckGo? How do you like the browser? I mean, I use Firefox. I just use as a search engine DuckDuckGo because I don't have to solve a captcha. I feel like you're being ignorant towards women. I'm looking for equality in this case. And equality is our safety. Yeah, and that equality means treating both sexes the same, or all genders the same. Make it can't get cancelled, as if I would ever get cancelled. And I'm not afraid of being cancelled. I'm above the law. I'm too cool for school. They usually say or point out they have been assaulted because of social pressure. That's another thing. There's many things. The point is, okay, Ali, I want you to really tell me how many have been assaulted by men and how many of the inverse. Zizzy, but... Alright, so I see where the problem happens. I see what you are all misunderstanding. Zizzy, what is your source for your claim? Like, what is... Because obviously you're going off based on some information. What is your information? The amount of people I know also. Okay, let's go with that. The amount of people you know. Look up statistics. Okay, so both things. Alright, amount of people you know and look up statistics. Great. Zizzy, now imagine someone told you... Now, Zizzy, now imagine someone told you that black people... Now imagine if someone made the same argument except instead of sex, they would go with race. So they would say that when they go out at night, they are more afraid of black people because it's more likely for them to be criminals. Then they would bring up stories about black men trying to murder them, and then they would show you the statistics. Why is it okay to do the exact same thing for sex and it's not sexism, but if you do it for this, it's racism? Tracking argument. Can you restate what's happening here? Basically what's happening is that Ali said that she's more afraid of men when she's... Basically she doesn't go out at night because she's afraid of men. And I said that that's sexism because she's discriminating men. And Ali is trying to justify that but by saying that men commit more crimes. Alright. Ali, you are misunderstanding why this is worthless. Because this is basically... Yeah, it's clearly sexism. That's precisely what I'm saying. It's justified fear. You're treating people differently. It's by definition sexism. It's not like... I don't really... It feels kind of silly that I need to go this far because it's by definition. Literary definition of sexism. Precisely what I'm saying, right? It is. Getting kidnapped, which happens by 90% plus by men. But you don't see it as a problem of like gender inequality. Because that is what it is. Treat differently, that would be sexism. Okay, so if you have a cop who's treating black men normally in his day-to-day life, but also assumes them to commit more crimes, would that be racism? I'm scared of the man. Okay, if you see a black man and a white man, who are you scared of more? Said you're more scared of men than women. Yeah, precisely. Which is by definition sexism. It's I don't know how to put it more bluntly. It's by definition. My daily Father's Eve. Alright, bye Mark. Have a good one. Good night. Okay, let's do it. Define sexism. Let's go for it. Discrimination based on gender, especially discrimination against women. I love how especially discrimination against women is that. That's funny. That's kind of meta-sexism. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Okay, this is actually pretty funny definition. Discrimination based on gender. What you're saying here basically is that if you see a guy, then there's then you basically believe them. Higher chance of believing that he's a criminal than a girl. Hi there, Anvi. I'm basically educating about sexism and racism. It's a long story. Now you need to rewind a bit. Against men, I'm aware of my surroundings, look for separate people. I mean, don't commit as many crimes. Ali, what you're doing is called justify sexism. Still sexism. That's what it is. Educating. I mean, yeah, it is by definition. I don't really have... Ali, are you... Okay, let me ask you this. If you go out at night, are you more afraid of men because you think there's a higher chance they might kidnap you than women? Screw the definition just for a moment. Zizzy, we screw the definition. I mean... You can get out of any argument this way. Like, screw the definition and just, you know, leave it there. But the point here is that Ali is doing something that's like a textbook definition of sexism. Oftentimes when I'm at night, I'm with men. Ali, that's basically the equivalent of saying, I'm not racist, I have a black friend. So how am I being sexist? Yeah, that's basically the equivalent of saying I'm not racist, I have a black friend. Definition is like the whole argument. Precisely. I'm with men so that men don't harm me. That's kind of like saying I'm with black people so that other black people won't harm me. It's not great. It doesn't sound great when you switch the roles, does it? Like, every single thing you've said so far, I can switch for race. You could try and equate this to race, because it's just as arbitrary and just as bullshit as race. But men don't get assaulted in the streets, women do. For crime statistics, I would just like to... Zizi, I would just like to point you to the fact that for crime statistics, this is violent crime rates by gender of victim. 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 With V. Victim. Now, to be fair, there is some gender equality recently happening. You make it for him 50, don't think it was trying to fight against sexism. Yeah, fuck, sexism bothers me. All of the isms bother me. Sexism, racism, all the isms, they bother me. I don't like them. They're so arbitrary. No, it's different. I just fail to see why it's different. Women by biology, unless they are insanely into the gym, are weaker than men. So Ali, I already told you, I am weaker than most women I know. Like, you're not all men make it. Yeah, but so maybe we shouldn't generalize in general. How about that? Because it's awful to generalize anything like that. Just because you're weaker doesn't mean it was. And just because, okay, 2 men assaulted Ali, doesn't mean all men want to. My point. Okay, there's always exceptions to the rule, hence, is it a woman that works out a lot? My problem is that your rule, when it comes to crime, is sexist. As I mentioned, by definition. There ain't really much wiggle room there. A lot more than women that... My rule is the majority of people. Your rule is sexist. Maybe justified, but it's still sexist. The problem with this sort of thinking is that when people seek statistics like these, right? Let me maybe explain why it bothers me so much. Maybe then you'll get my argument. When people see statistics like these, alright, in the US, when people see statistics like this, you know what really often the solution they come up with is? Their solution to these statistics is to add more police to places with a lot of black people. That's the solution. Alright? Now, the problem in this case is that if you see something that's caused by racism, a statistic caused by racism, it can't really be solved with more racism. This is here because black people were treated differently than white people. And the solution of most people is to treat them even more differently, to police black men more than white men. And what you're saying is a misaligned view of the problem. And this could lead to the same sort of thinking, where instead of eliminating crime, this would be like police had a crime caused by men. And let me tell you, trying to fix racism with even more racism didn't work. Shocker, it didn't. It's not gonna work for sexism either. The problem is the crime. It's going stale. Both sides are stubborn. It's going nowhere. I refuse. Okay, I am fine with giving up an argument on so many topics, but I'm not gonna give up an argument about sexism. I genuinely, racism and sexism bother me so much because they're so pointless, arbitrary, and bullshit. Treating people differently on race is obviously arbitrary, is what I mean. That's why I hate racism. It's basically treating people very differently with awful consequences based on an arbitrary thing. There's nothing to do with this argument. Yeah. Being more scared of a man than a woman, especially from a woman's point of view, isn't really sexist. It's usually more about stuff like personal society experience rather than thinking one gender is just straight up more dangerous. A lot of women have been taught to be more cautious around men because of things, violences, situations. Zizzy, what you just said is that you have two contradictions. Not just one, you have two. So first of all, being scared of a man than more scared of a man than a woman, especially from a woman's point of view, isn't really sexist. What you're saying there is that discriminating against a certain sex isn't sexist if you're a woman. Not making wild generalizations based on gender. Zizzy, in the first sentence, you already say being more scared of a man than a woman, especially from a woman's point of view, isn't really sexist. You're saying that discriminating against sex isn't really sexist. It's counter the definition. Can we agree on that? That if you are scared of a certain sex more, then you're discriminating against that sex. Can we at least agree on that? That if you are scared of a certain arbitrary group of people more than another arbitrary group of people, then you're discriminating that group of people. Here's my point of view argument. Go for it. I read the rest, but we have to tackle it one contradiction at a time. Listen, without understanding the first important key information, then the rest... Once you understand the first key, you will see why I have the problem with the rest and the other contradiction. So, Zizzy, if you are scared of a certain group of people, a certain arbitrary group of people, can we agree that it's discrimination? Next sentence and explains why. I already read the next sentence. I read the whole thing. Saying women are being sexist because they are more aware around men, may have bad intentions, negates so many women's experiences and hardship they've gone through, and it's simply ignorant. Okay, Ali. Do you think it's not sexist to be scared more of men than women? But it's uncontradicted by the next sentence. Zizzy, the problem is... Okay, Zizzy, let me break it down for you. Let's do it. Let me break down... That's my CMake list. So this is what you wrote. Alright, now let me explain to you why there's a problem, why I have a problem with this sentiment. There we go, let's clean it up a bit, make it more readable. Alright. Being more scared of a man than a woman, especially from a woman's point of view, isn't really sexist. First of all, this is a contradiction. It is more sexist. It's usually more about stuff like personal safety, society, and experiences rather than thinking one gender is straight up more dangerous. But the problem is, in this case, that is just thinking that one gender is straight up more dangerous. That's because it is. Statistically, men are more dangerous than women. Yeah, like, yes, like, you think that one gender is more dangerous than the other because men are more dangerous than women, but that's still sexism. Mentioning someone who violence acts taken by a woman by simply saying we're sexist. No, I'm not. I'm not diminishing, I'm saying that the problem is that these acts happened. So, Zizzy, do you realize that this is invalid, but this is completely valid? You can pass 20 minutes. I'm busy. Buy a bank or something. I'm busy. Do you see the difference between these two? My problem is with this one. This one I think is accurate, but not this one. Can you see the problem I'm having? thank the cookie. Like, yeah, for the achievement. I haven't even unlocked the kitty helpers. The point of having milk. And click the newspapers too. Dark blue is more light blue than the red to light blue. Well, dark blue is more light blue than red is to light blue. What? I don't get what you meant there. But the point is, if you discriminate against men, that's sexism. Alright? You may have a reason for discriminating against men, that's still sexism. How is that sexist? Because you discriminate against men. That's something against men. Yeah, it's like, if you discriminate against men, that's sexism. That's not absolutely, that's the definition of sexism. Now, what I'm saying then is that if you think that men are more likely to be, like, if you treat men more like as criminals than women, how is it discrimination? Because you assume one group to be criminals, or at least be more likely to be criminals. That's called discrimination. That's kind of like saying, yeah. I'm not treating men as a criminal. No, you're not treating them as criminal, you're just treating them as more likely to be a criminal. Minor improvement. Zizzy, okay, let me ask you something. If someone, based on this graph, said, receive equal treatment and criminal justice, it's actually just racism. If someone based on this graph said that black people commit more crime, would that be racism or would that be just an accurate statement? Yeah, we gotta go and buy. My point is, if you treat any arbitrary group of people in a way which is not like a core characteristic of the group of people, based on something that's not a core characteristic, only something that's attributed to them for no apparent reason other than racism, sexism, and so on. If I were refused to talk to a man because they were a man, that would be discrimination. Being aware of my surroundings around men is not. Being aware of your surroundings around anyone is not discrimination. Okay, but are you just as wary of men as women? Ali, your discrimination standard is incredibly high. That's kind of like saying that, oh no, I'm not racist, I talk to black people all the time. I mean, I'm still scared of them, but that's not discrimination. It is discrimination. Okay, Ali, what would be your solution to this problem? The bias isn't because it's a whole other kind of worms, but I just want to get through the basics. Because the fact that you don't see it as sexism really bothers me. More men try to come up and talk to me than women do. Do your motives or not? Hey, Ali, what would be your solution to this problem? be informed and carry a gun. But you see how this doesn't solve a problem in the slightest, right? You see, like, if that's your solution to the problem, and that's precisely my problem with what you're saying, and the fact that you refuse to acknowledge it as sexism. Because your solution to the problem, to be informed to carry a gun, doesn't solve it. If that's the solution, then men will still commit more crimes. It doesn't solve the problem, it just keeps the sexism going. My solution to the problem would be to reduce the crime rate. Reduce the crime rate to the point where it becomes insignificant. And then women don't have to be scared of men. And then there is no sexism. Wouldn't that be great? But to be informed and carry a gun just is like a... I don't even have a good analogy for this, I'm too upset. Many times they are more prone to violence. How does that work? What did I say about fixing sexism with sexism? It doesn't work. You can't fix sexism with more sexism. You can't fix gender inequality by doing more gender inequality. If you want to fix gender inequality, you need equality. That equality may come in the way of, like, for example, how is that sexism? Because you are discriminating against a certain sex. In this case, you're basically raising men, but not raising women, which means you're treating them differently and you're leaving one behind. In this case, that's sexist against women. More complex than men committing crimes. Every fucking child to exist doesn't work for you. Actually, that's a much better solution. But see how I... Remember what my solution to the problem was? How I said that my solution to the problem would be just lower the crime rate? You just, like, in an absurd way phrase that. Because you don't have to single-handedly raise every single child in America to be less violent. What you have to do is you have to reduce the poverty, for example. You have to... Okay, that's absurd. Yeah, raising every kid in your own is absurd. How about removing poverty in general? Just completely. Lifting everyone out of poverty. Because surprise, surprise, poverty correlates much more strongly with crime than sex. How about, on top of that, removing the social alienation to also remove crime rate? You don't need to raise every single child in America single-handedly to lower the crime rate. Buy some net. Have a good one. So which solution do you think is better? Being informed, carrying a gun, and still having men commit more crimes? Or lifting people out of poverty and reducing social alienation and all these things to lower the crime rate? Rich men still commit a lot of sex crime. What do you mean? Money is not an issue. Okay. Income, for example, we could do. Is there like a... Yes, I have. But don't you think that rape is the problem, maybe? I'm all for eliminating rape. But eliminating rape for only one sex sounds like a pretty shitty idea to me. Ali, remember what happened to Johnny Depp? Remember how Johnny Depp was abused? And like on the very beginning, no one cared. Remember that? Though people can make it later on. Yeah, once it became a famous thing, a lot of people cared, that's true. I mean, on the beginning. Before everyone cared. The problem in this case is... it's also another bias. Johnny Depp got justice, which is great. But when you think about how many Johnny Depps are there out there who didn't get justice, you wouldn't know. Imagine if Johnny Depp wasn't famous. Imagine what would that look like. If Johnny Depp wasn't famous, then he would be abused, and then he would get the blame for it. And he would be a part of those statistics which say that men are more likely to be abusive. That's why, when you're targeting societal problems like these, like abuse, like rape, like kidnapping, you need to target the problem, not just a certain group of people. How many women do this every fucking day? But that's precisely my issue. The fact that you're trying to solve it for only one group of people. Why do you only want to solve it for one group of people? They abuse justice. Yeah, they should have gone justice. But not just because they're women, only because they were abused. Listen. Abused women should get justice not because they're women, only because they're abused. Abused men should get justice not because they're men, only because they are abused. Make is right about this whole discussion, and the only thing I don't completely agree is that men and women are completely same. Obviously there are biological differences, but those biological differences are irrelevant in like an actual society. And a majority, men are physically stronger than most women because testosterone. Majority, women are more flexible. Most men are more similar, but they're completely the same. We should commit equality with a difference on the equality. Yeah, and black people don't have to wear as much sunscreen as white people. Whatever. Being stronger doesn't help much in a society in which there are more guns than people. You don't need to be stronger to force someone to do something. Every one man gets abused, there are hundreds of women who get abused. Yeah, Ali, but why should we only help women? Why not everyone? I'm not saying to not help everyone, but your solution to the crime based on gender problem is to only help women. You have two ways to solve the crime by gender problem. You have two ways to solve crime by gender problem. Either A, stay informed and carry gun, or B, lower the crime rate. Men can carry guns too. Yeah, but then everyone will just assume that men carry guns because they want to commit a crime. Not because they want to defend themselves from a crime, because then men are more likely to commit crimes. You have solution A, which is stay informed and carry a gun, which will lead to less, well, not exactly less victims, only, well, people who do crimes will just be worse off, which gets justice. Or, when in that situation A, not as many women would be kidnapped, but men would still be discriminated against because they are more likely to commit a crime. In situation B, however, practically no woman would get kidnapped because the crime rate would be so low, and men wouldn't be discriminated against. how should I put this in a way you would understand? Okay, let me word it differently. Imagine an argument like this, in which I say that wage gap between men and women. I'm just acting as I don't treat like I'm dumb. I don't quite get what you mean, Dashman, but get the wage gap, for example, right? The proper solution to a wage gap is basically to remove sexism as much as possible, right? To just societally accept that work done by women is just as valuable as work done by men. However, if you all of a sudden just introduce an artificial way to demolish the wage gap, a way which depends on treating sexes differently, do women typically choosing jobs that pay less and taking leave is legal to put women less than men? But that's precisely the problem. Ali, that still is a problem, because in that case, women are typically choosing jobs that pay less and take maternity leave. But then why shouldn't also men get paid less for paternity leave? Why should women sacrifice their careers to raise kids, but men shouldn't? That's still sexism. That's because we basically created a society in which it's socially unacceptable for women, basically in which women have to sacrifice their careers for kids and men have to provide. Men typically don't take paternity leave. Yeah, and that's the problem. That's the problem. We've created a society in which the norm is basically for women to take the maternity leave and stay at home, and for men to further their careers. Men just paternity leave, you have to pay less. Well, precisely what I mean. The reason why women get paid less than men is not really because, I don't know, just fucking every single boss in the country is sexist. Women don't have an option, men do. Why do women not have an option and men do? It's because we as a society consider it acceptable for men to not sacrifice their careers. Male privilege. Precisely! Fucking... Ali, when you have a wage gap, the best way to solve a wage gap would be to normalize men staying at home and taking care of their kids. Right? So that it wouldn't be unequal anymore. So that it's not like socially unacceptable for a woman to provide and men to take care of the kids. That's the way to solve a wage gap. It's not by just artificially paying women more, like having a tax write-off based on your sex or something. No, it's to normal. So can you see the similarity between the two problems? You have a problem in which a certain sex basically is suffering in some sort of discrimination, and then you have two solutions. Solution A is to tackle it in a way which doesn't solve the underlying problem, only kind of covers it up in a band-aid. It's actually socially acceptable for that to happen. It's just women choose to stay at home. Okay, Ali, as a med student, do women... I know that's not actually even med student, that's a caveman argument. That's a caveman Jordan Peterson kind of argument. I just think the best way to solve the wage gap is to pay everyone equally. Yeah, but that's exactly the problem. It's not like, because it's not the bosses who are sexist and are intentionally paying women less. It's the fact that women need to take care of the kids, and because of that, they don't get equal pay because they, need to leave the job to take care of the kids. And that's because we as society just agreed that, women should take care of the kids and men shouldn't. And little girls are raised knowing that it's or at least were, and in some cases still are, raised with everyone telling them that they should stay at home, they should take care of the kids. And because of that, they later on in life do. And that just furthers the problem, because you can't solve sexism with more sexism. Ali, your society, your solution to this problem leads to a society in which men are just assumed to be more likely to be criminals, which in my opinion isn't really a win. Alternative solution, which means lowering the crime rate, would lead to a society in which no one would be assumed to be a criminal and we wouldn't have crime. Or at the very least, that much crime. Which in my opinion is a much better society. I'm going to resolve this and I'm leaving to go shower. Ali, I can't... There's no way for me to resolve this because you are by definition sexist. That's not a question. It's not like you are discriminating against men because you think of them as having a higher likelihood of being criminal, which is by definition sexist. The problem is that the fact that you refuse to recognize that as sexist, it may be based on statistics, based on prior experiences, fine, it's still sexist. The fact that you refuse to acknowledge it as being sexist means that your solution won't be counted for the fact that it is sexist, and because of that it will lead to just more problems down the road. And that's kind of it. If I can convince you, then that's really sad, but this really is it. Just upset that you refuse to, because at this point, I know if you just refuse to acknowledge this or if you genuinely don't see the problem. That's precisely the reason why so many people have problem with feminism, because they think of it as feminism, so just for women. No, it's equality. I genuinely don't think I'm sexist. Well, then I know that's also better. A bit upsetting. Well, I'm not in the mood to do anything else today then. That's kind of ruined the mood for me a bit. I'm going to go now, I suppose, do some more walk off stream. I guess for now that'll be it. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.